Hey, Richard. Lovely to see you. Holger, Maria, hello, Rashmi, John, hello, Zoe, Frank, hello, Frank, hello, Adrienne, Esther, hey, Bill, Amna, hello, Malcolm. Lovely to be with you. So as usual, I'm muting everybody just for the beginning of this meeting. And you're welcome to unmute yourself after the initial. Also, just so everybody's aware, the meeting is recorded. And the recording is available at no charge. So if we could just to start sort of to center ourselves, if we can welcome our experience just as it is, sort of sit comfortably and just welcome yourself, welcome whatever thoughts are appearing to you and the sensations in your body, the sound of this voice, and just rest as being. And do nothing. We don't need to do anything to be in order to be. Being, presence is effortless. It is what we are. Efforts may be needed to be someone. But no effort is needed to simply be. If you notice a tendency to engage in thinking, simply notice that tendency and as much as possible, don't pursue any thoughts, just for now. Thoughts may appear, but you can remain still, you can remain as you are. Because it doesn't matter what's appearing. You don't need the past. You don't need to remember anything in order to be this aware presence. We are not separate from the universe. We are the totality, the wholeness, the infinite, invisible reality of consciousness, awareness. The only reality, the one and only reality. Nothing missing, nothing too much. It is when you imagine yourself to be separate and limited that you experience the sense of lack. The sense of limitation. Which does not define what you truly are. We all know this sense of limitation. But we also know that we are not defined by that. Our innate freedom is absolute. Although we may imagine ourselves to be bound and limited and incomplete. That is a falsehood. Our freedom is God's freedom. It's expressing itself through us. Infinite freedom. No one can give it to you or take it away from you. Because it is not the freedom of the body or the freedom of the mind. It's the freedom of being. Which does not belong to anyone. And yet no one lacks it. We all share that same freedom. God's freedom. that's shining through all of us, our children, our parents, our neighbors. You are the only one that can limit your own freedom. You limit your freedom by saying yes to the belief that consciousness is personal. That consciousness is mortal and limited. You limit your freedom when you identify yourself as the body, immortal body mind. Whenever you go from I am, which is universal being, to I am this or that, which is not imposed upon you by anybody. In honoring your freedom, you're honoring the freedom, that same freedom that is available to all of us. But the greatest honoring of your freedom is to recognize that your freedom is not your freedom, it is God's freedom shining through you. It is not a personal freedom to do whatever you want or you wish to do. But it's God's freedom that's borrowed to you, lent to you, to honor. There is only one truth, one reality. You can recognize it as the reality of consciousness, not the images and the memories and the feelings. But the reality that perceives, that is unchanged, irrespective of what appears, whatever thoughts or sensations arise. You are that aware presence, that reality that is formless. The mind discredits this reality because it's formless. Confuses the form to be that which is real, and disregards formless awareness as unreal. But you know that it's that constancy in your experience, the constancy of awareness, and not the constancy of the body or of the mind. Do you know that that constancy is formless, and yet it is real in an absolute way, irrevocably. And that awareness does not stand in opposition to anything. It's not bound or limited by anything. It is there at the heart of all experience. But it's not limited by the experience. That's the true freedom. That which is beyond any limitation, beyond any opposite. That's your experience It is not a theoretical model or conceptual fabrication. Awareness is your experience. And the belief that it belongs to the body or the mind is a belief. We have no experience that awareness belongs to the body or the mind. It's a belief that's perpetuated throughout the human race. There's no validity. It's that belief that awareness depends on the body, that restricts the freedom which is innate, which is synonymous to awareness. And this limitation upon your freedom, upon the freedom of awareness, is based upon a false belief, a non-reality. So the experience of limitation is an illusion, an impression based upon that belief. That awareness is personal. Mortal. But whenever you don't buy into this belief, that illusion of limitation, of the freedom, the limitation imposed upon awareness is not there. You are as your true nature. unconditionally free. Which is not the freedom of the person, but the freedom of consciousness. There is no freedom for a person. Because there is no person. And whatever person there is a limited mind impression, which has nothing to do with true freedom. So you don't free yourself as a person. You don't free yourself from your misery. You don't free yourself from your suffering. You free yourself from ignorance, from the wrong belief. You free yourself from the belief that results in the impression that you are somebody existing in time and space. So you free yourself from that self. You free yourself from yourself. So that there are no limitations imposed upon your reality, which is a reality of consciousness. Hey, Bill. I think, wait a minute, maybe I need to unmute.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
It was me. Yeah.
Yes, I hear.
If there is freedom from the self, okay, this could be two questions. If there's freedom from the self, can the self continue in confusion and continue to suffer? And the second question, which may be the same one, is there a difference between someone else being upset and me being upset?
Okay, so there are two different questions. So,
are they different?
Yeah. So in terms of the first question, in terms of the freedom from the self and suffering and suffering, yes, that was the question.
Yes.
Just to clarify what we mean by the meaning freedom from the self. So freedom from the belief that I consciousness, I awareness, I'm a male or a female, I'm a person, I'm limited, that I awareness is somehow conditional upon the body-mind, depends on the body-mind, or is defined by the body-mind. Now, which means that the belief that I am mortal, that I am an event in time and space, that I'm a man or a woman or person, is not that which is operating. Yes, the body is male, female, or whatever. Yes, the mind maybe have great inclinations towards artistic creativity or scientific, whatever qualities the body-mind may have. But the qualities of the body-mind refer to the body-mind. They do not refer to I, to awareness. So freedom from the self, in the way I would express it, is freedom from the belief and the feeling that I am a mortal body-mind. Suffering relates to the sense of limitation. Suffering is rooted in the sense that I am an object in time and space that is subject to being loved, being appreciated, to being healthy, to becoming wealthy, etc., which are qualities that relate to the body-mind and not to consciousness. But when there is the experience still on board that I am this person, it is inevitable to feel that sometimes things are transgressing you. You feel transgressed, you feel wronged, you feel incomplete, you feel something bad is happening to you or something bad is happening around you, etc. So as long as the belief, when that belief is operating, that I am this personal consciousness, then suffering, the potential, the seed of suffering is implanted, and the potential for suffering is on board. It is just a matter of certain circumstances that will trigger the suffering. And if the circumstances are, everything is cool for the time being, then you're okay. So it's a circumstance, the piece of being is circumstantial. The potential of unhappiness and suffering is on board. So your question that it's not, they don't go hand in hand, to be free from the sense of limitation and to suffer. This does not mean that there may not be pain in the body if you slip and you fall on your, on your hip or whatever, or if you you eat something that's there may be situations in the body mind that may be very painful, difficult. There may be some situation may present themselves to you that requires for you to solve a situation in your family or in with your neighbors or whatever, that may be complicated, that may require quite a bit of application. Now, these are different things, you see. That's not suffering. The situations that are demanding, challenging, complicated, difficult, painful at the body-mind level, that is a different thing from suffering. So yes, back to your question, when the sense of being this person with my history and my past and my future is not on board, meaning when the sense of identification or limitation as a body-mind is not on board, then suffering is not there. You suffer when you somehow leave your true nature and apply the model that you are a person, that you are a son, a father, a husband, a mother, a daughter, whatever, a teacher, whatever you are, whichever way you define the body. When you identify you, meaning awareness, consciousness, with the body mind in one way or the other, there is a confusion. You will experience a sense of limitation and the potential of suffering and unhappiness. It is not possible to be happy and unhappy simultaneously. Your other question was about something about somebody else. Can you restate that, Bill?
It might be a foggy question, but I guess they're based on a foggy premise. But the question was, if someone else is upset or I'm upset, is there a difference, or is it just two characters in the play?
When we are in the presence of somebody who's really wrapped up in their identity and sense of indignation or their personal hurt, it is not the same as being sitting in a lounge chair by the ocean. We definitely sense that, because there are no barriers, there are no walls in consciousness. So there is a certain transparency, in a way, as one way of saying it, to consciousness. So when we are in the proximity of suffering, we do experience that. But there is a difference between having that sensitivity and being a target to that. To that. So yes, the sensations of somebody's sorrows or somebody's state of confusion or somebody's deep expression of egoic tendencies and just around you, you sort of sense them, and there's a difference, sort of noticing them and feeling them even in your body and retaining them, or feeling that they're a problem, they become a personal problem. When they became personal, they get personalized, then you are suffering. Now you have a problem to deal with. And oh my God, why is this happening to me? How come these people don't get it? Why are they why they're suffering, they shouldn't be suffering, they should be smart, whatever. And now you have a problem. So it's a difference between compassion meaning sort of sensing in a transparent way other people's energy, let's say, around you, and suffering. Of course, we don't want anybody to suffer. When we see somebody suffering, we do feel, we do feel we wish they would get beyond it. In any way we can help, or that's our connectivity, our oneness as consciousness. We do sense other people's unhappiness, and but when it registers as within us as right and wrong, or as some form of resistance, or then it's a different matter. And I mean, we do understand that we suffer as soon as we separate ourselves from, as soon as there is a personal identification that I am this person. Oh, what happened to me? What's going to happen to me? What my parents did to me? Oh my God, what my boss did to me? How people are treating me. We understand the process. And you cannot if every person has to sort of see through it themselves. Of course, you're available, as a mirror, as a friend, when there is somebody reaches out for you, or you feel that there is some room, some openness. So, you are available for some, to share, some of your understanding. But you cannot understand on behalf of somebody else. Whether that is your parents, your brother, your mother, your partner, your best friend, your whatever. You cannot do the understanding on behalf of somebody else. But you can live your own understanding. You can, how do you say, like manifest. Your understanding is manifested in your life. How you live, how you speak, how you listen, how you act. And that has its impact, of course. It has an effect. And unhappiness has its place in our life. We all know unhappiness. We all suffer in one way or another. So obviously it has its place in our life. And when we moving in the wrong direction, our unhappiness increases. Things get more complicated. And sooner or later we can't stand it anymore. Realize, wait a minute, I can't continue in that direction. So unhappiness, in a way, is part of the cards that are dealt to us to bring our attention towards the right direction. So, of course, we don't want anybody to suffer, to be unhappy, but sometimes that's what's going on. That's part of the way. Okay, Bill. Okay. Umer. Oh, sorry, George. If you don't mind, one moment, because Umer had raised his hand, and I see that he wrote a couple of things. So, Umer, you were right. You talked about family situations as not suffering. What in the world else do you think that is? Do you really think a person engrossed in family or job disputes has a chance of realizing sahaja without practice? There is no chance. I'm not sure that I talked about family situations as not suffering. Not sure where you get that from, Umer, so I don't know how to reply to that. Do I really think that a person engrossed in family or job dispute has a chance of realizing sahaja without practice? I don't know exactly what you mean by practice. So it's hard for me to really look at your question. If you feel that a certain practice is helpful for you, then go ahead. As long as the practice is bringing more light and happiness in your life, it's not just sort of a repetitive thing that I must do, and if I do it enough, I will die and go to heaven. I wouldn't buy into that. But if there is a practice that you feel resonates for you, it's bringing more understanding and peace and openness for you, then of course go ahead and do your practice. And in terms of family or job disputes, that's part of the game, you know. We all know that it's not possible to get around family issues and job issues, and this is part of what is given to us to sort of work with and deal with, and get beyond the unhappiness. I personally had to deal quite a bit with family and job disputes. It was somehow part of the mix. So I cannot say much more to your question, Umer, because it's a little bit vague to me. You also write, Umer, you write, anyone here makes some progress to enlightenment in 2020? Any glimpses or initial realization? And you write, by practice, I mean contemplation and meditation. Yes, it is not possible to contemplate truth without the truth becoming more transparent to you. Now, it seems that you have a thing about enlightenment. Anyone here, you have this thing about enlightenment, like a big bang, an enlightenment thing, glimpses, or of course, glimpses. There are many glimpses, that we experience throughout our contemplation. And some of them are very obvious to us, some of them are not. But it's not possible for the sun to shine on the iceberg without the iceberg melting, whatever speed at which it melts depends on the size of the iceberg and how far south you are. George, you... Yes, George.
Yeah. I'm not sure. This is something we've discussed in the past, and you mentioned the beliefs that awareness belongs to the body-mind, the belief that awareness depends on the body. And as you point out, these are prevalent beliefs in our culture. And my question, I would much prefer to believe the contrary. I would much prefer to believe that awareness is universal. How do I get that experience that awareness is universal? I can hear you talk about it, and I've heard you talk about it, for a long, long time. Maybe I'll get that experience by keep on hearing you talk about it. But I just wondered, how can I really get that experience and really make it firm in my understanding? Now, for example, if someone said Australia is a continent, well, I don't know. I could look at a map. I could sail around Australia. I can get a image from a satellite. I can look for evidence and somehow firm my belief that Australia is a continent. How do I firm my belief that awareness is universal?
Okay. What is sufficient, George, is to see through the belief that consciousness is personal, that consciousness is limited and defined by the body-mind. Now, by consciousness, we mean the reality of your experience, whatever it is that is real right now, that the reality that hears these words, that perceives this perception. So your question is, how do I know that this reality is universal? Forget about this reality being universal. For now, simply ask yourself the question, on what basis? Based on my experience or any proof, any evidence, because I know that that is the way, you operate, which is beautiful. What evidence do I have that the reality that perceives this perception right now is a function of the mind, a function of the body, depends on the body, depends on the world, depends on the oak tree in the yard, depends on the Milky Way? What evidence do I have that this awareness, the reality that perceives right now, is dependent on the body-mind?
I have no such evidence. I mean, it seems to me the only way I could find out is to destroy the body-mind, I'm just kidding now, so commit suicide and see if awareness persists. But I'm joking about that.
let's say that.
I have no evidence either way.
Yeah, but even in terms of what you said, let's say the body-mind is destroyed, okay? And now you look and you find, hey, awareness is no longer there, right?
If the body mind were destroyed, I couldn't look.
Let's imagine that the body that somehow you think you only, you know, if the body is not there, if the body disappears, then awareness disappears. Let's say that you conduct this experiment somehow in some lab. There is this experiment where we destroy the body mind, and then we look and we find that awareness is not there. And here's the proof, right?
Okay.
Now my question would be, what is it that found that?
I'm sorry, please say that again. What's the question?
What is it that found that awareness was absent, is no longer there?
Well, that's really my point. That is, one could not do that experiment.
Right. So even that, to consider, right. So there's no evidence. Oh, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Is there any evidence that you have that awareness depends on the brain, on what time of the day it is, on perception, on sensation?
I have no evidence.
So
I have no evidence of the contrary.
Therefore, you can drop the model that consciousness depends on the body-mind, right? You can do that because there's no evidence.
Well,
So
there's no evidence. There's no evidence. But can I really drop that model?
Yes.
It's hard to drop that model because everyone's holding that model.
You can. It doesn't matter. You can remain not knowing.
I can remain not knowing. Yes.
Okay, well, okay, I don't know.
I don't know. Yes.
Good enough. Good enough. So therefore, whenever you adopt the model, I am George, meaning consciousness is George, you are going into knowing. You are going into a model to which you have no evidence.
That's correct.
Okay. So just be clear to yourself that whenever you adopt the model, hey, why did you do this to me? Or how come this is happening to me? Or what's going to happen to me tomorrow, me being George? At that moment, you are adopting a model to which you have zero evidence.
Okay, very good. In terms of the past, who has done what to me in the past? That's clear. I have no question about that. But let me look at who's going to do, I'm going to look at something may happen in the future. And that's something that will happen happens in the future, it may or may not happen, will cause me pain. So right now, I look and say, okay, if this thing happens, it's going to hurt. I don't want that to happen.
Will cause the body pain.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It'll cause the body pain. And I don't have the ability to make the distinction between the body hurting and my hurting. In other words, when the body hurts, I suffer.
If when the body is hurting, you are hurting, that means you are identified with the body. That means you consciousness, you awareness are depending on the body.
Yes, that's exactly.
At that moment, you are adopting the model. At that moment, you are adopting the model that the body suffering refers to my suffering, or the body pain refers to my pain, and that therefore you're adopting a model to which you just a minute ago, you said you have zero evidence to support it.
So what you say, Magdi, is exactly right. So at that moment when the body feels pain, I don't have the ability, doesn't seem like I yet have the ability to make that distinction, to say, look, the body is feeling pain, but I don't have to suffer. Why? I don't have the ability to do that. At least I don't think I have the ability to do that.
How do you know that? I mean,
Oh, I know that only because it's happened in the past.
No, and the only thing that has happened in the past, if you take a closer look, is that you have adopted the model that you have no evidence for, and you are adopting it. You've got to be clear to yourself that, okay, wait a minute. Yes, I am suffering when my body is suffering, and it's very clear to me that I am right now at this moment of suffering. You have to see it at the moment of suffering, not beforehand or afterhand. At the moment of suffering, you have to see at this moment that I am identified with the body mind, with the body suffering. Because obviously, if there is, if you have toothache, there is appearing to you a toothache, a painful, intense sensation, very intense sensation. And we're going to do something about it. We're going to see the dentist or whatever we're going to do. But that is a different thing from I have a toothache, I am hurting. Yes, I am witnessing, I am perceiving a very intense, loud sensation, very loud, and I'm going to do my best about it. I don't know, maybe we have to pull the tooth, maybe we have to do a root canal, I don't know, whatever we have to do. But to go from there, and that's the work, George, that's the, you know, that is the contemplation, that when there is a sensation that is happening at the body-mind level, we go to I am suffering. There is at that moment a jump. You made a jump at that moment. You assumed there is a model that very quick like that, you've switched gears into I am the body. I, meaning consciousness, I, awareness, I'm George. I'm this body George, we call George.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, I can speak about it, of course. And
no, I get it now. I really do get it.
You have to see it. It's got to be clear to you that yes, that is what is going on. It's got to be clear to you that this is what's going on at that moment. You have to see it, that's what's going on. And yes, I am suffering because that's what's going on. That's what's going on, meaning that there is awareness and the body are somehow one, but they're not. Awareness witnesses, perceives. It perceives all sorts of things, including intense and not so intense experiences in the body mind. Now, okay, what may be helpful for you, George, is instead of waiting for some strong, loud expressions of the body mind, explore with the small annoyances. Look at the situations where you are annoyed and see, wait a minute, I am annoyed. What's going on? I'm hungry, and there is no food that's ready, you know, and I'm hungry now. So at that moment, the hunger, the body's hunger, and I, awareness, at that moment there is unhappiness because you identified yourself with a body-mind situation. You've got to see it in the subtle aspects. And there is an internal work that you need to do. It's not, you've got to do that work of saying, oh, okay, I see it. And so then you go back to, okay, well, wait a minute. Yes, there is hunger, meaning the body is knocking on your door, saying, hello, feed me. Okay, yeah, I hear you. Okay, I hear you. And you're knocking loud. The body is knocking loud. I hear you. And so the I that is hearing you, the I that is hearing the body, knocking, is not the body. You've got to do that internal work of seeing it and then you respond to the body. You respond to the body as what? As the manager of the body, as awareness, as presence. You know, you say, okay, wait a minute, the body's knocking very, very loud. Let me very quickly give the body a piece of cheese. So I'm going to cook a salad. I'm going to cook dinner. Wait a minute. But here's a piece of cheese to calm you down. Okay, give a piece of cheese. Okay, or whatever, whatever you know, a carrot, a cucumber. And then you can respond.
Okay, very good. I've asked the question. You've answered you always answer my questions perfectly. I got it now. That is the thing for me to do. You've told me this before, but somehow I just keep not doing it. So I think what you're saying, is to take some time when there's some minor irritation.
Yes.
And at that moment, make the distinction between the mind that's feeling the irritation or the body that's experiencing the irritation and I, who is witnessing it.
Okay, now the body is not.
No, you're right. The body does not experience.
It's not experiencing. It's the same.
I misspoke. Yes.
An expression. There is something is being expressed. A sensation, a thought is being expressed. Right? Yes.
Yes, you're right. I misspoke, and I'm glad. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, the body doesn't experience anything. Yes. Yes. Okay. Good. So that's what I need to do.
Yes.
I asked that question, and now you've answered it. I really thank you.
And that work is very important, George.
Okay.
This is what makes the understanding your experience. It becomes your experience. You're no longer listening to Magdi speaking about it. It's your experience. That yes, I get it from my experience. It's the understanding permeates your being, and it adjusts. The reason it readjusts the compass, you see, the compass being that I is awareness. That awareness is not something that you can burn, something you can drown, something you can cut in two. It's not awareness is it's the reality of being. So that's the compass gets readjusted in smaller ways, but it has an effect. This is a very important aspect of the work.
Yes, in fact, I mean, I could do it right this instant. Right this instant, I'm not going to take everyone's time, but right this instant, I'm experiencing frustration because I really want this to happen right away, whatever reason is. And so I'm having this experience of frustration right now. And I don't want to take everyone's time doing this, but I can do it right this instant.
Yes.
That is, I can just, I can, anyhow, okay.
When there is frustration, in that moment of frustration, I, George, want to get there. I'm frustrated because I want it now. So at that moment, it's George. At that moment, I have awareness, which is not trying to go anywhere or get anything.
Right.
But at that moment there is frustration because at that moment, I have adopted some model that I am George.
Right. Now, if I look at that, okay. I was just about to ask you a question, and I think I've answered it. My question is now, if I look at that, can I actually succeed in noticing that who I am is just who I am, and just noticing, yeah, there's that frustration. And, I can even notice the tension in my abdomen. And, I didn't know whether I could do it. Now I'm doing it. Can I just notice that and say, yeah, there it is. There's tension in my abdomen.
Yes.
There's frustration. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Yes.
The tension in your abdomen, look at it as a sensation.
Yes.
let's not, for now, just for now, let's not call it attention. Let's just call it the sensation.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yes, that's right. You're right. Calling it yes, that's right. That's an interpretation. Yes, thank you.
The sensation, right?
It's a sensation.
Yeah, and this sensation is arising within awareness.
Right.
See if you can right now just look at this as a sensation arising within awareness. And there are no walls around this sensation, and there are no, it's an infinite open space. If the sensation wants to, it's not bound, it's not limited. Yes?
No, I don't get that last. No, I don't. Not yes. I don't.
The sensation. Okay, so the sensation. Let's go to sensation. The
Okay.
sensation is arising within awareness.
Yes.
Now, sensation has a form. Yes.
Well, yeah, sensation. Yeah, has a form. Yes.
Yes.
As a sensation. Yes.
So go to the form. Don't get out of your mind. Go to the sensation. Go down to the sensation, and go to the form of that sensation. Imagine that you have, some virtual hands, and sort of see if you can sort of hold this sensation in your virtual hands, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's right or not. There's a sensation.
And that sensation, what shape does it have?
Doesn't have a shape, but I see, if you ask me what shape it has, and I give you an answer to it, and then you ask me what color it has, and I'll give you an answer to it.
Wait.
It'll disappear if we do that. I've had that.
What shape does it have?
Okay. What shape does the sensation have? It's a ball. It's spherical.
Spherical.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So invite yourself to allow the sphere to expand. Don't imagine the space around the sphere to be extremely thin, almost non-existent. So that sphere can expand.
Doing it. I'm amazed. I'm doing it. Yes. This is amazing. Yes. It's expanding. Holy crap. Yes. Okay. It's getting bigger and bigger. And as it gets bigger and bigger, its intensity is decreasing because you've got this sensation over a wider area. I hate to sound like a physicist or anything, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Keep it, allow it to expand. There are no limitations to its expansion.
Yes. Okay. Good. Yes. Okay.
Nothing that you need to do. Simply we are recognizing together that a sensation arises in the space, and the space around the sensation is not made out of dense material. It's
right. Yeah, there is no material.
Right.
People have different beliefs, but I believe there is no material. There is no matter.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to the sensation. We're knocking on the door of the sensation, and we're inviting the sensation to speak to us.
Okay. Hello, sensation. How you doing there today?
We tell the sensation, hey, can you expand? You're welcome. If you can expand, here you are. We're okay. Can you expand? That's what sometimes I say, give the sensation its complete freedom.
Yes.
What I mean by that is, notice that the sensation is arising in a space which is not made out of matter. It's arising in the spaciousness of awareness, the formless space of awareness.
Yes. Yes. See, I said earlier that this pain is in my abdomen, but the abdomen has no physical existence either.
Right, right, right.
So all there is there's just the sensation.
Right, right.
There is the sensation, and that sensation just exists as a feel like other sensations. It's just a sensation.
Yes. And that sensation and the hearing of these words are not two.
Okay, that's
Okay.
that's
That's
the next step. I haven't quite got to that step yet.
We don't need to go there. It's okay. That's fine. For now, just don't try to notice the feelings in your body mind as sensations. And sensations are all neutral. They're all equal.
Right.
They're all neutral. They're equal as being neutral. They're just neutral events. They're cosmic events.
They're cosmic events. There are some sensations I like, some sensations I don't like, but yes, they're neutral cosmic events.
Right.
Yes.
You know, liking and disliking aside.
That's right. Yes, I understand.
Now we're adding the I, we're adding I am George.
You're right. Yes.
Keeping that aside.
Right.
We're just talking about sensation. Okay, so the feeling is a sensation that has no boundaries to it. That we invited to is complete freedom. Yes.
Yes.
But we suspend the I like it or I don't like it. We have to suspend that, because as soon as we bring in I like it, then it becomes an object. It becomes more concrete. There's a shift.
Yes, I understand. Yes, yes, I got it. Yes.
And I like it or not like it? Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks very much. I really appreciate this. I'll have to keep practicing this.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, George. Okay.
All right. Thank you again.
Sure. Oh, the volume. Sorry. Let me see. Sometimes I have a volume issue here. Okay. Let me see if okay, that's better now. Okay. So Umer, you write, Magdi, can you talk about fear and how to let it go? Oh, Frank. Hello, Frank. Sorry. Yes, Frank. Okay. So, Frank, fear. So, the main thing to understand about fear is that fear is not our natural state, our natural. It's not God-given to us. Our natural state is fearless. And that's one of the things that is quite, you can sense it with the people who have somehow transcended ignorance, that they are fearless. So fearlessness is our true nature. We experience fear because of we're holding on. We hold on. Whatever we hold on to, our money, our life, our family, our partner, our image, our prestige, whatever, our beliefs, whatever. It's a holding on. So we hold on. It's this contracted position. And we hold on because we are not stupid. We actually hold on because it's important for us to hold on. We feel that there's something valuable, something of value for us. So we hold on, we hold on to our family, to our image, to our position, to what people think about us, etc., because we feel it's important. So it's logical. The fear is logical. It's logical. But what is illogical about fear is its root. So what I mean by that is that we are holding on, we're defending our position, we're defending our turf. But behind that logical defense is we're defending myself. I'm defending myself. So I am scared that anything can happen to me. Will the neighbors do this to me? Will the boss do this to me? Will my partner do this to me? Will the government do this to me, etc.? So there is behind this defense and this holding on and this position that we are taking, there is the fearful child, the fearful me that is in there. And I have developed around me a great structure to defend myself and to project a good image of myself, to market myself, market my family, etc. I've developed over the years all these positions, these images that protect me from danger, but it does not. Still inside that cocoon is the fearful child, is that vulnerability. The vulnerability is not because I am incapable of building defenses to protect myself. That's not where the vulnerability lies. The vulnerability lies in the belief that I am vulnerable. So at the root of fear is the belief that I am vulnerable. And the reason why we feel I am vulnerable, we all have that experience to different degrees, is because the body is vulnerable and we have, the body-mind is vulnerable, and we have confused ourselves to be the vulnerable body-mind. And that goes on along with us. At the age of 20, 21, 30, 40, 50, it doesn't matter. That sense of being vulnerable remains with us as long as we have the belief and the feeling that I am the vulnerable body-mind. So what is available to us, the antidote, let's say, for the fear or for that whole process is consciousness. Meaning, in this moment, you are aware. It's not the body that is aware. It's not Frank, the body that is aware. Body is an object, something you experience. You experience the body, you experience the sensations of the body, images of the body. You experience the body, but you are not the body. It is not the body, which is an object that you experience, that is aware. It is you that is aware, meaning awareness. I, awareness, consciousness, is aware of the body and is aware that it's aware. So we have available to us the evidence that I is awareness. That evidence is awareness itself. So you need to comprehend that awareness is not defined by that which it perceives. Of course, we all perceive the body-mind. We have no issue with that. I perceive a male body, you perceive a male body, so we perceive a female body, etc. Yes, we do perceive it. But that which perceives does not define the awareness, does not define I. Except if you agree that that which you perceive is you. And that's a jump. That's quite a jump. But it's your freedom. If you decide that I, meaning awareness, am a male body, then you will experience worry and concern and the experience of vulnerability and fear in one way or the other throughout your life. So you have available to you the experience of awareness, which is the reality of your experience. It's always there. It is formless. It has no name, no age. It's not male or female, tall or short. And that is what I truly refers to. I refers to awareness. So we all are the same awareness. It's not like I have a awareness A and you have awareness B and she has a better awareness than me and you. It's not like that. There isn't a better or worse in awareness. Of course, on the body mind is different. A healthy body is better than an unhealthy body. Okay, we could say that. A $1 million in the bank account is better than $400 in the bank account. Okay, yeah. But that's not what we are talking about. Yes? We are talking about truth, about that which is true, that which is real across the board. You see, bank account, okay, today it's $1 million, tomorrow the market crashes, I don't know, whatever, or inflation, it turns out to be 200,000, whatever. That's not what we are contemplating. It's very important to be clear that to get out of this mess, you have to contemplate truth. You have to be a truth lover, dedicated to truth. And nobody needs to explain to you truth. We are talking here about truth, but I'm not explaining to you truth. We all know truth because we are this consciousness. We are this awareness. What we are doing here is we are talking about truth together. We're turning our attention towards truth and we're discussing it and so on. So we can somehow help each other to come to some clarity in the midst of this chaotic situation that we find ourselves as a human race on this planet. So fear is not that which we want to live. That's not the direction we want to live. We want to live the direction of peace, love, beauty, happiness, joy, freedom, sympathy, you know, the happy things.
Thank you. A follow-up question to that.
Yes.
A problem I've had with this whole non-duality thing since the very beginning is, and I, although I love it, and a part of me really, I guess, feels like it's the truth. There's this feeling that being consciousness is almost a passive state of being, and that it can't, me being consciousness, I can't change anything in the body-mind field, or I don't know what do you.
Right. I understand what you're saying, Frank. Okay. I don't know why you feel like that, but I mean, I hear you. I hear you. It could be. I don't know why you're saying that, but in my experience, when I am speaking with somebody, for example, and I am caught up in my own thoughts, you know, my own personal thoughts about, you know, me and this and that, or how should I, what could I, how could I respond to them so that they can like me, for example? I find that I'm actually almost not listening to what the other person is saying. And it has been my experience that when I am just like as presence, meaning I'm not thinking about, oh, what am I going to say so they can like what I'm saying? When I'm just sitting as presence, in fact, I am able to hear, to listen better, and to sort of communicate better with the other person. I find also, like at work and in my relationship with Tara, in my relationship with almost everybody, that as presence, there is more space for me to perceive with more clarity, to there is less traffic in my mind, less noise, in my mind. As presence, there isn't a past and a future, there is presence. So in presence, I can listen, I can perceive, I can comprehend, and of course, also I can perceive the thoughts that arise to me and say, oh, wait a minute, let me ask Frank, what he means by that. You see, I also am able to perceive my own thoughts as they arise to me, because I don't have an agenda, you see. Usually we are in our agenda. We have a lot of agendas in our mind. But that's not as awareness. Awareness isn't having an agenda. It's like awareness is presence. It's already at peace. It's already, in happiness. It's not seeking anything. So you need to take a look at that, Frank. The premise that when the mind is seeking something, it can operate better in the world than when the mind is present. This, I think, if I heard you right, it's something like that you said. That when the mind is a personal mind. Personal mind means two things, Frank. A personal mind means it is seeking, desiring, or it is resisting, saying, oh, this shouldn't be this way. That's what the personal mind is. And it's doing that on behalf of me. It feels, oh no, things shouldn't be this way. I'm unhappy this way, it should be different. So the personal mind is a mind that is seeking or resisting. The mind of presence is the same mind, except it is void of seeking and resisting. But it's still present. The presence of mind B, which is a mind of presence, is completely available. The mind of the personal self, which is seeking, resisting, it has its agenda, is very partially or almost unavailable. Which one do you think is the mind that can function better in the world?
Well, when you put it that way.
No, I mean, correct me if I'm saying something wrong. I'm just presenting to you.
I guess I'm to how consciousness, what kind of effect it has on the body-mind experience. Like let's say we started talking about the fear. Like if somebody is experiencing, like I've experienced a lot of fear in my life. How can I take the idea? How can I, if I go into consciousness, if I decide, okay, I'm consciousness, I'm awareness, that's my identity. Is that in itself going to change my fear? Is it going to make my fear go, oh, will it?
I did not say that.
Okay.
Sorry, just maybe sometimes, maybe I didn't express myself clearly. I didn't mean, okay, when there is fear, then tell yourself that your consciousness, your awareness. No, when there is fear, you need to realize that at the moment that there is fear, because you have assumed yourself to be the mortal body mind. Imagine that assumption, just for a moment, is not there. In other words, the belief that I am this mortal body mind named Frank, but I'm still aware. I'm still awareness. Would you experience fear?
I guess not, because it's really all my fear is based around the body.
Yes,
and it's
but identification with the body. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was not saying, okay, no, fear is, the way to deal with fear is I am consciousness or believe I am consciousness. You have to understand the process, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
The process of how we are, how come we are in such a mess? You know, why are we living in such a mess now? You have to see it for yourself. You cannot see it for other people. You see it for yourself because you're identified as the body mind, as Frank. Now, yes, I agree with you. There is a body mind, male body mind that your parents called Frank and I call Frank.
Mm-hmm.
We have no issue with that. I also agree that there is a, I don't know, I'm just going to invent something, that there is a yellow Toyota that is Frank's car. There is a registration, and the name of Frank is on the registration. I have no issue with that. I agree that Frank lives in, I don't know where you live, let's say, whatever. But, you know, that's no issue. That's not an issue with that.
Right.
But I am not Frank. There is a body named Frank, and I'm the manager of the body. I give the body rest when it says, hey, you know, time to rest, or I give the body food when it says, hey, you know, hungry, or when the body says, damn, I'm really cranky, I want to go for a walk, say, okay, let's go for a walk. So being the manager of the body doesn't mean you are the body.
So it's almost like having a pet.
Yes, very good. It's like you're having a pet. Yes, you have a pet. We all have a pet. Which is, you know, yes, that's a very good. You are not the pet.
Yeah, I'm the manager of the pet. I'm watching the pet around.
And you
because it does go on, and it has its likes and its dislikes and its preferences, and it wants to do this, wants to do that, and sometimes I feel like when there's a question of decision making, sometimes I'm not sure like which way to go and stuff. Is that where then consciousness or awareness can come in and say, look, and if I really listen to awareness, is that where it can come in and say, okay, this is the best decision to take, and so on?
Yes, always listening to awareness is the best way, because you have to understand one thing, Frank, is that when we say awareness, we're not saying Frank's awareness is different from Magdi's awareness or different from Gloriana's awareness or Esther's awareness. That's important to understand. Awareness, if you look at awareness, it has no name.
Mm-hmm.
Frank has a name, the body. The body here is named Magdi.
Yeah.
But awareness has no name. And it's not like awareness A and awareness B and awareness C and awareness D.
Yeah.
So as awareness, when you're making a decision as awareness, of course you are making a decision about Frank's body, but you also realize that it's the same awareness for the body of your neighbor, the body of your partner, the body of your children, etc. Same awareness. So awareness will never hurt itself. I mean, how could awareness say, oh, well, I'm going to do what's good for Magdi and screw my neighbor and the heck with my neighbor? You know, that's not how awareness will function.
So is people have been talking about God? This, they listen to God and they pray to God. Is that what that's like? Is that what that is? Like awareness?
No, I'm not talking about some God, some concept of God. I'm talking about the reality of your experience. Right now, what is it that's hearing these words?
It's something that's aware of the words. So I guess it's awareness, right?
Yes. There is an instrument. There is a body-mind instrument with an auditory mechanism, but it's not the instrument that hears, right?
Yeah.
I hear. So I'm not talking about some God or something. I'm talking about our experience. Right. There is a reality to awareness.
Right. Okay.
And if you look at that, your experience yesterday when you were having breakfast, and you had asked yourself the question, let's imagine, you had asked yourself the question, what is it that is perceiving right now eating the cereal? What is the body is having a function, But what is it that's perceiving? It's I awareness. Is that awareness of breakfast this morning and the awareness that's hearing these words right now a different awareness?
No.
And if we all ask ourselves the same question that we just asked together, me and you, we will come to that same conclusion. No, it's the same awareness.
Right.
And it's across the board, it's the same awareness.
So I think I've been separating the body mind from awareness. I said I've been making. I guess I've been making it a duality. It's really all just. It's really there really only is awareness in the book.
Only awareness. The body mind. One way of looking at the body mind is that it is a field. Let's say I'm just going to use relative language. It's a field of manifestation. How awareness is playing itself. You know how we go play in the playground? It's a field, a space where awareness plays. It plays in a variety of ways. It plays the game of perceiving, sensing, thinking, creating, building. It plays also the contemplation. Because here we are, you know, Frank and Magdi and John and Bill, and we're all here. We are right now contemplating truth. So there is that aspect of this body mind where it's also a tool, and it's part of its function is contemplation, and of course another part of its function is enjoyment. Enjoyment. It's like we're enjoying being together right now, and you know, chatting and being together. We enjoy going for a walk. We enjoy inviting friends for dinner or whatever, glass of wine, whatever. We enjoy that. We enjoy that. Now, the unhappiness is when we say, "Oh no, there is this conscious. My consciousness is more important than your consciousness." Meaning, right as soon as we identify with the body mind, that now I am Frank and you are Magdi, and you know what? We'll see how it goes. You know, hopefully it'll go okay. Maybe, I don't know. That's when we are moving in the wrong direction. And of course, if you look around the planet Earth, or in your family, in my own family, I mean, I'll talk about you find it, that the sense of separation, the identification is all over the place, and so yes, consciousness is the reality, and the reality of the body mind. It is the reality of the world, because there is no possibility of world, body, mind without consciousness. Consciousness is like the common denominator of the world and the body and the mind. And I'm not talking about some abstract God. I'm talking about our knowingness, our experience of consciousness, that consciousness is my experience. I am conscious. I am aware. And the I that is aware is awareness itself.
Thank you, Magdi. Very helpful stuff.
Okay, Frank. But you try it out, you know. Try it out, Frank. Try living as presence, because I know you expressed a concern about being able to function as presence. Try it, because I've tried it, and it works marvel. And sometimes there is the idea, oh, if I'm just presence, then what's going to happen to me, my past, my future, I won't be able to become like a blob. It's not true. It's no. It's opposite. It's the opposite. As awareness.
Say at this point, because you've been doing this for a while, would you say you're pretty much fear-free?
Oh, yes, of course, because fear, as long as there is the me, that I am Frank, there's going to be fear, which is normal, because when you are identified with Frank, and Frank is a vulnerable body mind, there is going to be fear. But of course, first, awareness is not a form. It's not flesh and bones. It's not made out of thoughts. It's not made out of sensations. Awareness is not made out of something. The body mind is. See? So that's, first of all, that's a fact. You can confirm that in your experience. Secondly, the more you realize that you are awareness, and that the body mind is the body mind, you know, the more it becomes clear to you that yes, it's true. You know, like, you know, I don't know, like the more you visit a restaurant that somebody tells you they have a really good chef there, and you go, you eat there, you eat the meal once, wow, it's really good. But you're not sure. Next time you go, wow, another meal, very good. But 3-4 times you go, then you become clear. It's maybe a simple example, but the more you visit both your experience as awareness, and that the body mind Frank is appearing to you, and the more you visit I am Frank, and you experience the unhappiness, because it's not possible for you to be Frank and not experience some sense of limitation. It's not possible. Some worry, some concern, some. And why proceed in your life with worry and concern on board? What, you think it's going to get better? No, because when you say yes to the worry and the concern, then your business becomes the management of worry and concern. It's very different from managing the body-mind, because the body-mind has needs. But you become the manager of worries and concerns. You become a worry and concern doctor. I don't know where I'm going with this, but yes, fear, there is an end to fear. Otherwise, I would not be talking. I would not be talking about a relative, okay, let's get better. This is not therapy. Of course, there is therapy that can help you in different things. I don't know what they are, but I'm talking about the end of fear. Yes.
That's great news.
Yes.
Very, very, very great news.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, Magdi. Much appreciation for you. Thank you.
Okay. So, well, thank you all. Very, very lovely to be with you. Hey, Trish. Hello. Umer. George. Bill. Okay, man. Holger. Zoe. Adriano. Hello, Adrian. Hello. Esther. Hello, Esther. Irene. Hello, Irene. Nice to meet you, Irene. Yes, hello, nice to meet you. Hola, Maria.
Hi, Magdi.
Oh, you're out for your walk again. Beautiful. Oh,
Yeah, we're at the ocean now.
beautiful.
It's sunset time.
Oh, wow, how very lovely. And Peter, hey, Peter. Nice to meet you, Peter. Hey, Frank. Yes, good to see you, Frank. And John. Okay. Yes.
Namaste.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Magdi. Thank you, everybody.